All right, I'm back. Hey, for this next presentation, we all have to go outside for a little while, so let's all head out front. No? Short game area. For those of you who know, our driving range is world class and it's huge and it's got hitting from all angles, but way down on the east end we have a short game area that was constructed primarily for the US Open for the players to work on their short game, but it exists now, and what we're going to try to do as part of our afternoon activities is activate this area and promote it to people who might want to go down there other than just going out to practice or hit balls, but that might be looking for a different sort of activity. And what it is we're going to try to dress up that area with some, benches, a water cooler, get some little caddies out there that are hand caddies that you can put your clubs on with drinks or whatever the case is. But the short game area will be constructed so that you'll be able to actually create your own little short game contest with your buddies. Maybe you're coming in on an overnight guest with 4 or 8 guys or 6 guys, and they're going to stay overnight a couple nights. They're playing the kettle loop the next day. They're asking for what can we do? Can we just go hit balls or something? And that's when we're going to try and get them to go down to the short game area and experience that area, and they can have a little fun competition amongst themselves. We're going to have, well, basically a color-coded flag system. It'd be like 3, a red, a green, and a yellow flag on each of the greens, so you can drop a ball and say we're going to hit to the red flag, and then when we come back this way, we'll go to the white, and then et cetera. So they can kind of go back and forth, and we'll have a little scorecard for them. And it'll be a neat activity. And Rich is going to be around, and if they want to go down there, he might lead them down there and show them kind of how it works, or I might do that. It's just to activate the short game area and get some folks down in that area, because it is a really cool area and it's fun and they can get some practice in. In the past, we've always had overnight guests showing up and they're looking for something to do, and we would just send them down to the range to hit balls, and that can be kind of boring. They're going to be hitting enough balls the next couple of days, but if you can get them down there to have a little competition, maybe Matt can provide some drinks on occasion, or we might run down there and service them. So that's kind of the theory for what we're going to try and do with the short game area. It's open all the time, except for on our Monday maintenance time. All other times it's open until dusk, and from 3 to 7 p.m. is our target zone for when we try and get these people down there. We're going to need to keep it clean, so we're going to have regular checks to make sure it looks presentable. Everybody kind of needs to know, kind of like the kettle loop, what the short game area is and how we can promote it down there with people. We already talked about the flag system, the drink service, the amenities, that we're going to make it look more inviting, and Rich is going to help try and usher people down there that he identifies that might want to have a good time down there. So that's basically what you need to know about the short game area. I recommend, if you haven't seen it, go down there and take a look at it so you know where it is and how it lays out. So, got it? Okay.
All right, here we go.
All right, I've been told that I have 45 seconds for my 40-minute presentation, so here it goes. I'm Matt Tesh, I'm the Director of Food and Beverage. So basically, anything on property here.
You need to turn your mic on.
Oh. I'm very good with technology. All right, Director of Food and Beverage, Matt Tesh. Just real quick, everything that we talk about today is just going to be general knowledge information about the food and beverage department. It doesn't matter what department you guys are working in, you're all going to have guest interaction, you're all going to get questions. A lot of it's pertaining to the golf course, a lot of it's pertaining to the dining options. So essentially, we just want to provide you with the information that's pertinent to you so that you can direct guests in the right direction, be able to give them knowledgeable service and gracious hospitality. So to start out, just kind of repeat the introductions here. Again, Matt Tesh, Director of Food and Beverage. We have Quentin Watson, who is our Group Sales Manager and Sommelier. We have Anna Arndorfer, who has actually been here since dinosaurs roamed the earth. She's our Event Coordinator. And we have Jake Sutter, our Executive Chef. And I worked with Jake for how many years before we joined teams here? Probably 3 or 4. Yeah, so We've been a couple for a while. And we have Jim Brown, who is our sous chef. Jim Brown has an extensive history in food and beverage. He's been an executive chef at multiple golf courses, fine dining restaurants, so definitely a wealth of knowledge. And just an absolute pleasure to have these guys in the kitchen. So any questions about anything, these are kind of like your go-to staff for anything food and beverage, and we do know a little bit about hospitality as well. Real quick introductions as well. We have 2 MITs this year, manager in trainings. They all come from universities. So one, Maisie Grace Freeman from UW Stout. Happy that you. Oh yeah, wave to everybody. Hello. Yep, first year here, so she's going to be helping us manage our dining facilities, managing the outside staff. We have Zach Zoet from Michigan State. He's a Spartan. We won't hold that against you, I guess, too much. And then we also have, where's David Ronk? David Ronk, over in the corner there. He's going to be helping us run our outside food and beverage as well. So David's been here. This is, I think, his second year, but first year with food and beverage. So definitely a pleasure to have you join our team. Dining facilities, this is probably the biggest, most questions everybody's going to get about where do I eat, what do you guys serve, what's your operations. Dining facilities, we are sitting in the Village Clubhouse dining room now. This is the hub of all of our food and beverage operations. So every single day, no matter when the first tea time of the day is, could be 7 o'clock, could be 10 o'clock, we open for breakfast at 6 a.m. Every single morning we do a breakfast buffet, and that's it. There is no a la carte menu. Now on this breakfast buffet, it's scrambled eggs, potatoes, bacon, sausage, oatmeal, pancakes, waffles, pastry station, chef-attended omelet station, so anything you could possibly want. We also take special requests, but overall, breakfast buffet served every single day from 6 a.m., and you'll see up there it says 10:30 or 11. We don't necessarily break it down at the same exact time every single day. We're kind of look over our tea sheet. If we have a large group that actually comes in, we know they've been in, they fill our tea sheets all the way through noon. We're sitting there at 10:15 and we know we're not going to get anyone else. We're going to break down that buffet. But as soon as we start breaking down that buffet, we switch right into lunch. So a good way to tell your guests is, say when does breakfast go to? Anywhere in between 10:30 and 11 o'clock. When does lunch start? Anywhere from 10:30 to 11 o'clock.
We will do a la carte items off the buffet if somebody doesn't want to do a full buffet. If they just want a piece of fruit and an English muffin, we're not going to charge them for the full buffet.
Correct. Yeah, the full buffet is $21. It comes with a non-alcoholic beverage, soda, juice. But like Quentin said, someone wants to come in, grab a banana, just a granola and yogurt parfait. We do a la carte pricing. We don't hit them up for $21 for an English muffin. Lunch is completely off the menu. No buffet style there. Our lunch menu is really built for speed. We have a lot of guests that are not from the area, so they're catching flights in from O'Hare. They're trying to get out to their tea times. They're coming off the course, trying to catch their flight home. So we really make our lunch menu built for speed. So you're going to see local ingredients like Wisconsin cheeseburgers, chicken Caesar wraps and salads, tuna melt, steak sandwich, a pretty simple menu. All these items are accompanied by fries, chips, or fruit, but again, a menu that's really built for speed and to keep our tea sheet on pace. The Irish Pub, not in this facility. It's in the Lodge building at the bottom of the hill. Many of you probably haven't seen that facility yet, but the Irish Pub this year opens at 2 p.m. and it'll stay open till 11:30 p.m. and that's a hard close at 11:30 p.m. We also have lodging in that facility, so we don't want to disrupt anyone who's trying to get a good night's sleep for their round the day after. We do serve a very limited lunch menu from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. That'll just consist of a brat, chicken sandwich, burger, couple appetizers, something that's very quick, very easy for people coming off the course, getting to their car and being on their way. Now at night, things slow down a little bit. Our main dining room turns into a Midwestern style steakhouse. So on that menu, different cuts of meat, filet, ribeyes, New York strips, salmon, walleye, pork chops, chicken, I mean, you name it. It's just, yeah, blue cheese dip. Yeah, everyone that knows about that. But yeah, just a Midwestern style steakhouse. A lot of high-end wine, a lot of high-end whiskeys. Things slow down a little bit for us, and we're mainly catering to our overnight guests. In addition to our dining facilities, we also have locations out on the golf course. Robert kind of told you about the starter kiosk. That's for somebody that comes in and says, hey, I got 5 minutes until my tee time, what can I get real quick? We'll have wraps down at the kiosk for them. We have energy bars, Gatorades, beers, things like that, something that they can head down there real quick and grab it. In addition to that, you can always tell your guests, they're going to come up to you and be like, do you guys have any food and beverage? Do you have a bev cart girl out on the course? The answer is always yes. We have 3 stops on the course. They're never going to see more than 3 stops on the course. We do have a beverage cart. It'll be the first stop that the golfer will see. It sits on 4T, and once it's out there, it sits there for the entire day until all the groups have gone through. That beverage cart serves Gatorade, beer, alcoholic beverages, Coke products, energy bars, cigars. You know, it's a limited quantity of items just given the space on the beverage cart. The next stop they'll see is the halfway house. The halfway house is meant to be kind of a quick lunch location. So we'll serve a little bit of light fare there. Brats, hot dogs, chicken salad in a cup, wrap of the day, bananas, apples and peanut butter. And it has a larger selection of non-alcoholic and beer products or alcoholic products. And then the last stop is a house on 13. We got super creative and we just call it the house on 13. It has everything that the halfway house has minus the food products, minus the brats, hot dogs, chicken salad in the cup, but full array of non-alcoholic beverages, alcoholic beverages, snacks, and cigars. Did I miss any locations?
No.
Nope. All right. Oh, we got a new facility. All right, so this is going to kind of be up to everybody. We've sent a e-blast to some of our core clientele pertaining to this new facility, but you know, it's up to everybody to kind of get the word across every single day to the patrons that we have on property. So this facility is really going to cater to our overnight guests. It opens at 9:30 p.m. and it'll close at midnight. You know, Justin and his team have been so gracious to allow us to let our guests in the caddy barn, but this location here is meant for evening activities that guests can do, you know, other than just going back to their cottage or sitting in our dining facilities. So inside the caddy barn, we're going to have a couple TVs. We have a custom-made shuffleboard with our logos on it. We'll have bags, ping pong, golden tee machine. So it's just going to be kind of a nice, cool little sports bar game room that guests can go and enjoy. So again, really talk up this location. It's going to be fantastic. We're not going to have a bar in there. We don't have any beverages in there, but we are going to be running beverages from the Irish pub to this facility, which is very close. All right, food and beverage credos, we'll kind of buzz through this, promptly greet and assist each guest. You know, this is something that I hammer into our staff day in and day out. You know, these doors, people will wander in here all the time. You know, when you see someone wander in these doors, they have to be approached within 5 seconds. You know, and I always use this example, and thinking back in my high school days, you're sitting in class and you got to use the restroom, and you say, teacher, can I get the hall pass to go to the restroom? And you take it, the hallways are empty, someone's walking the other way, you kind of know them, but you don't know them, so you're trying to like look at the wall and look at something like as you're passing. It's just a really weird transaction between two people. So greeting each guest, making eye contact with them, you know, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. You know, always greeting a guest, making eye contact with them. We never want to pass a guest without saying something to them. It just makes for an awkward situation. Culinary excellence, knowledgeable service, and gracious hospitality. If we can master those 3 things, the rest kind of falls into place. Some of you may be thinking, what's the difference between service and hospitality? I'm going to tell you in a couple slides here. 3 steps towards success. Again, this is just 3 easy steps that we pound into our staff for training. It's a warm, sincere greeting. So you picture yourself at a table, you know, going up to a table, greeting the guests. The one thing you always have to do is have a smile on your face. You know, there's a difference between having a smile on your face and not having a smile on your face. If I go up to a guest and I'm smiling, I've never had a guest stare at me and be like, why are you so happy? You know, they smile right back at me. If they're having a bad day, at least I can get them to smile because I'm smiling. I'm passing along an emotion to that person. So always a warm, sincere greeting. And one thing Quentin's very good at is remembering guest names. We do have a lot of repeat clientele, and they are blown away when we have a group of 24 come back and they're in the pub and Quentin's calling them by their last names. They're like, how do you remember that? It blows them away. So a warm, sincere greeting, welcoming them to Erin Hills, smile on your face, huge step, not difficult to do, so just keep practicing that. Anticipation and fulfillment of each guest's needs. And real quick, anyone that's worked for me in food and beverage, there's 2 different types of needs. Does anyone remember what they are? What? Yes, yes. Expressed and unexpressed needs. So expressed needs, say Stephanie comes up and sits at a table and says, hey, I'm in a hurry. I got to get out to the golf course. Can I get a cheeseburger real quick? I say, absolutely. I put in the order for the cheeseburger. I give it to Stephanie. She's on her way. I just fulfilled her expressed needs. Not a difficult thing to do. She told me what she wanted. I gave it to her. Unexpressed needs takes a little bit of work. And if you genuinely care about what you do, unexpressed needs is not a difficult thing to do. You have to have your radar on, you have to have your antenna up, and you have to be aware of your surroundings. So an unexpressed need is, Stephanie comes up and says, I need a cheeseburger, and then, I go away, I come back, and I overhear her talking to her friend, and be like, oh man, I can't believe I got stung by a bee on the way up here. And without her asking for it, I'll go down and get a bag of ice and say, hey, I wasn't eavesdropping, but I overheard that you got stung by a bee, so here's a bag of ice. I don't want your arm to swell up. I just filled an unexpressed need. She probably wanted a bag of ice for the bee sting, but she didn't have to ask for it. My radar was on, my antenna was up. I was focusing on what my surroundings were, and I kind of made a memorable experience for Stephanie with her bee sting. All right, and then last, a fond farewell. It's the same thing as the greeting. Smile at them. Thank you for coming to Erin Hills. Have safe travels. Hope to see you again later this season or next year. 3 pretty easy steps, right? All right, service versus hospitality. Again, kind of in a table situation. If there's a table of 4 here and I'm serving a table, I can do everything technically correct. I can serve from the left. I can clear from the right. I can serve beverages from the right. I can perfectly time their soups, perfectly time their salads, perfectly time their entrees, offer dessert. But amongst this service, I do nothing more but yes, sir, yes, ma'am. I just performed a pretty good service. But did I give memorable hospitality? Absolutely not. I performed great service, but it's not memorable. Hospitality comes from the heart, okay? You have to genuinely care to give good hospitality. All of you have been hired for a certain reason. It's your personality, it's your attitudes. You have to let your personality show through. Whether it's on the table or just a quick interaction with a guest, you have to be yourself. You have to show that you genuinely care. You have to show that you want to be here. And giving gracious hospitality is something that you all are very, very good at and something that you all have in you. So, caring about what you do, showing that you care, recommending products, talking to guests, talking up the course, talking about different departments, really creating a buzz about Erin Hills is what hospitality is all about and what we promote here. Payment methods, I know Robert kind of went through this real quick, but cash, credit, do we take that? Absolutely. Anywhere on property, we take cash and credit. On the course, in our dining facilities, no question about that. If a guest is looking for cash, we do have an ATM machine right outside the golf shop. We have our second ATM machine in the lodge in the basement. So we do have 2 ATM machines on property. Accounts, I just want to kind of differentiate house accounts versus, or room accounts versus house accounts. Room accounts, guests coming on property, staying in one of their cottages, they can set up an account in the golf shop and then we're able to charge to that room. House accounts are accounts that last all season long. Take for instance, John Morset, our marketing director, or Rich Talk, our PGA ambassador. There's going to be almost a weekly occurrence that these guys are going to be out golfing with course raiders. These gentlemen have marketing accounts set up for them. So when they go through a food and beverage location, we properly discount that bill and we will charge it to their marketing account. So difference between room accounts and house accounts. And we also have Z-Day accounts, which you're going to become very, very familiar with as well. Z-Day accounts are people that are not staying overnight, but they want to set up an account. Say Quentin Watson with IBM brings out 3 guests. He goes, hey, I don't want to bring out my wallet every time I want to buy something, and I don't want my clients purchasing anything as well. Can I set up an account, and can we just charge that? Absolutely. Go visit the golf shop, put your credit card on file, and then we inform all of our staff that Mr. Watson and IBM are Z-Day 19, charge all food and beverage to Z-Day 19. And gift cards. Gift cards you can use in food and beverage, you can use it for lodging, you can use it for merchandise, anything. Popular questions, reservations are going to get this, greeters are going to get this, people working at the welcome kiosk are going to get this, is can I bring my own bottle of wine to dinner? In Wisconsin, it is illegal to do that. All food and beverage served in a licensed facility has to be purchased through a licensed vendor. Now, unfortunately, Illinois is different, where a lot of our clientele comes from, and they don't understand that. So just saying that it's against the law for the Department of Revenue that you cannot bring your own food and beverage into a licensed facility. And Quentin and I and Anna will be the ones to kind of convey that message to the staff and to the guests, but we never let anybody bring food and beverage into our licensed facilities. They can bring it to their cottage, they can enjoy it in their room. Does Erin Hills venues have a dress code? As long as you're wearing shoes, shirt, and something beneath, you can dine in our facilities. It doesn't matter if you're in jeans and a t-shirt. If you're comfortable in that, we're going to serve you dinner. If you're coming off the golf course in your spikes, your shorts, your golf shirt, your hat, we're going to serve you dinner. If you want to come in a suit coat and a bow tie, we're going to serve you dinner. Anything that our guests feel comfortable in, we want this to be an extension of their own home, so anything they feel comfortable in, we're going to provide service to our guests. Does Erin Hills offer room service? We do not. We do not offer traditional room service. We will not take entrees over to cottages, rooms, anything of that nature. However, the cottages do have mini fridges, and we do offer beverage packages, so wine packages, local beer packages, non-alcoholic packages. Those packages do come with small appetizers in the forms of like cheese plates, so that would be the only time that we really bring food over to a cottage. We will bring beverages to a cottage, however. Someone says, I want 4 vodka tonics over to Waterville, absolutely, we'll be right over with that. Does that make sense? And then lastly, just want to touch base on employee dining. Employee dining is a very complicated topic. So if you're out here golfing with paying guests, we really want you to be able to dine in our facilities. However, we can't interfere with any of our daily activities from our daily golfing guests. So we would ask that you reach out to myself, you reach out to Quentin, you reach out to Anna. It's just our first name at erinhills.com. I'm sure you all get our phone numbers as well. But please communicate with us first and try and do it in advance. Say, hey, I got a group of 4 coming out. They're all full paying guests. We're looking to have dinner. We really want to accommodate you, but we want to make sure it's the right time. We want to make sure that we're not closed for a private event. And we really want you to check with us first, because we really want you to be able to enjoy the fruits of your labor in our dining facilities. Any questions?
Not the full paying guests, but the Erin Hills employee guests.
Yeah, any rate. If you have guests that are paying any rate, we really want to take care of you at some capacity, but we just want to make sure that we're doing it right and we're not interfering with any other guests.
And try to give us like 48 hours notice, just so we can take a look at things and give you an answer back.
Questions? All right, perfect.
David?
Oh,
Are employees able to bring out a family member or guest, like on a Saturday night for a meal, or we can't do that? Is that just for guests only?
it is going to have to be correlated with some sort of golf rate. So if you're out here golfing with a family member, and that family member is paying a golf rate, then that's where we want to be able to take care of you. Awesome. Well, thank you for your time. Oh,
Guests who bring their own beverages on the property, are they going to be allowed to enjoy those beverages in the caddy shed?
That's a good question. I'm going to go ahead and say no. you know, we want to be able to monitor the guest intake of intoxicating beverages, so we are going to go ahead and say that's a licensed facility.
Okay.
And you know, if a guest, we're not going to make a big deal out of it, but we're gonna if somebody asks us, we're going to say that that's a licensed facility, and you know, you can enjoy that in your cottage if you want, but we won't promote that they can do that.
But I'm assuming that the fire pits will still be allowed for them.
Yeah, I know we had that occurrence where someone brought a whole cooler down there, and we'll nip that right away. But if someone wants to enjoy the Chateau Lafitte 1982 that they brought down by the fire pits, that's fine. All right, well, thank you.
Good job.
Hello again. I'm Kelly, our reservations manager. Q, I was wondering if you would stand up here for my speech too.
Well, I was just there to support him in case he fell down.
Oh, okay. We have 2 credos in our department. The first one is we try and never leave a guest without options. So we only have 37 beds on property. We take prime season 150 golfers a day. So we get a lot more requests, obviously, for lodging than we can accommodate. So we do our best to use our wait list. We recommend alternative lodging. We have a PDF we send out. And then we always try and offer, you know, maybe that Thursday isn't going to work, but it looks like on Friday we have cottages available, or what on Wednesdays, or a different date we can check. So the answer is never no. It's always followed by, how about this, or maybe I could try that. And then we always try and just let our enthusiasm show. So maybe you have a favorite room, maybe you're from Michigan, you're booking somebody calling from Michigan, and you can talk about some amazing sports team in Michigan. No such thing. So just trying to relate, let your enthusiasm show, get a lot of questions while on the phone, so if you can personalize it to the guests to get them excited to come here, excited to meet you, and excited for their visit. There are a couple important details we try and communicate through every phone call, and number 1 would be that we're a walking-only facility. We do not allow carts or even pull carts. Sand Valley is new, and they allow pull carts, so we get a lot of questions about pull carts this year. We do not. As Zach mentioned, it's just the fescue out there doesn't work with carts. Pace of play is 5 hours, and we try and let every guest know that. It is a pretty long time to be out on the golf course. It goes by quick, but obviously you're covering a lot of land. And it's a 6.5-mile walk. There's some bad reputation out there about how Erin Hills is so long and it's a 10-mile walk, and we're a 6.5-mile walk from tee to green. So that's the information we try and relay there. Our caddies all double bag. Not sure if Justin went over that. The service fee and gratuity are 2 separate things. One of them's covered in the golf shop, the other one's handled directly to the caddy. So the service fee you pay at the time you pay your greens fee, and then the gratuity is handled directly to the caddy after the round. Service fee is a $55, and then the minimum suggested gratuity for the caddies is $65 and up, paid 2 different times. So we let every guest know about the caddies, how they double bag, how they're paid for. And then obviously doing our best to provide accurate rates, accurate availability, our cancellation policy, keeping that consistent. We get a lot of directions. How do we get to Erin Hills? Where are you located? Used to be a problem. It's not anymore as much, but definitely your car GPS, like, so if you're in your Lexus and you turn on your car GPS, it's not going to find Erin Hills. So we always direct people to their smartphones. Apple does a great job. After the US Open, kind of got ourselves on the map a little bit more too. And then we always recommend to arrive an hour before your first tee time. So as everybody's talked about, we have an excellent practice facility, and we just want our guests to be able to enjoy that to the max. So does anyone in the room know our cancellation policy for golf or lodging? Maybe that table over there. Anyone? Mr. Needles?
Sure. Golf is 7 days or 14 days, depending on time of year. lodging is 45 days.
Correct. So at the time of booking, we require 100% lodging deposit. If you're renting out Valley Bunyan, you're paying for it when you call. You have 45 days from the time you booked. So if you booked June 1st, 45 days prior to that, it's your cancellation policy. If you cancel inside those 45 days, your deposit is forfeited. Golf is 7 or 14 depending on the time of the year. We have peak season and regular season rates. Our regulars from May 7th through July 22nd. And then after July 22nd or July 23rd, the best day in the world, we go into our peak rates. And then our cancellation policy becomes 14 days instead of 7. If you cancel inside of our cancellation policy for golf, you are subject to the cancellation fee, which is the full greens fee of $295. So I'll talk about what we do to prevent that. We offer 2 stay and play specials. In our regular rates from the day we open to the July 22nd, from May 14th to July 22nd, if you pay for your first round of $295, pay to spend the night at Erin Hills, you receive $100 off your second round. From May 7th through May 13th, which is the first week we're open, you receive a complimentary second round. If you pay for your first round, spend the night, receive a complimentary round. We also allow that complimentary round during our holidays. So you'll notice that's Memorial Day, 4th of July, and Labor Day. Tend to be a little bit of downtime here at Erin Hills. Some of our facts, again, maybe anyone, that table over there. Does Erin Hills offer early check-in or late check-out? Needles?
Only when we have the availability, but otherwise no.
No. We have 37 beds on property, and we allow our housekeeping all that time to flip those rooms. We are a lot of days fully committed, so we have to flip 37 beds. A lot of our guests arrive, play golf in the afternoon, spend the night, play the next morning, and go on to their next destination. We do have locker rooms, so that's sort of our way of, you can put your stuff in your locker room, and if you are looking to shower after your round, you can use that service. Can a group place a hold on a room? That answer is also no. At the time of booking, we require 100% lodging deposit. We only have 37 beds. I can't hold them for you and not know when you're going to get back to me, and maybe my next phone call is going to be the same guy looking to book Valley Bunyan that night. Can you book lodging without playing golf? No. Our lodging is limited. It is reserved for our overnight or for our golfers only. We tend to be a championship golf course that happens to have lodging in Jim's eyes. Do we offer a twilight rate? No. Our greens fee is $295, 7 days a week, sunrise to sunset. If you can't finish, we don't want you playing. Can I book a tee time and my replay round in the same day? So I want to come there, I want to book a 7 a.m. time, and I want to also book a 2:45 time because I'm going to play Erin Hills twice in one day. No. It's really hard to do. As people have mentioned, it's a 5-hour round. You're out there, they're exposed to everything that may happen out there during the day. Today, that is rain, that is wind. It is going to be in your face, and if you thought you were going to be able to play twice today, yeah, not so much. Do we allow golf carts for disabled golfers?
Yes.
Yes. This policy is very detailed and must be explained and handled by our head golf professional, Jim Lombardo. So if anybody does call you asking for a handicap cart, ADA cart, the answer is, please talk to Jim Lombardo.
Yeah, you know nothing. Just tell them you don't know, and just say, you gotta see Jim. You know we have it, but that's about all you know, because it's pretty darn complicated, and you don't want to get into it, because they might hear something or say something. You just send it to me, and you don't have to worry about it.
Oh, sorry. So our guest communication plan. So once that guest does book a reservation with us, if it is just golf or if it's golf and lodging, we reach out to them several times before they are going to arrive on property. So if you are spending the night with us, you receive your confirmation emails And then you receive several other emails just letting you know that we're excited for your arrival. We're going to send you an email reminding you of that cancellation policy, so you're aware if you did need to make any adjustments, you would cancel outside of it. We send another email asking for some additional information, which helps Robert and his staff. Who are you coming with? When are you arriving? How are you going to handle your accounts? And then we call everyone 3 days out too, just to make sure they don't have any other questions or last minute requests. Could we put one of those wine samplers in your cottage for you? Maybe you want a beer package. Anything we can do prior to your arrival. If you're just playing golf with us, you also get a cancellation email reminder. So about 10 days or 15 days prior to your arrival, hey, if you did need to cancel somebody, modify your tee time, please do so now before you're inside our cancellation policy. And then we send a text reminder as well, making sure they don't have any last minute requests, really confirming those caddy details. We put guests on our wait list, and then we update guests on the wait list as well, part of our communication plan. So maybe you want to stay in Bali Bunyan, now you're wondering, hey, it's about 50 days out, is there a chance that that got canceled? We're going to let you know you're on the wait list, nothing has changed, you're still there. If you don't want to be on there anymore, that's just fine. We can remove you, but so far this is the way the wait list is looking, or this is the way the rooms are still booked. And then we have our ambassador list. So myself, Jim, Anna, Rich, really we pay attention to the guests that are continuing to come back to Erin Hills and supporting us. And so we identify roughly 300 of our top clients each year, and they're called ambassadors. They're black or blue, depending on their status, and maybe they're corporate black or corporate blue, or maybe they just come with buddies. So we have buddy blue, buddy black. They've been recognized for multiple visits and using the facility to host events, come every year. They're dedicated to us, so we like to be dedicated back to them. It changes. New people add to the list, people fall off the list, definitely every year. But on the tee sheet, when you're checking in golfers that day, or you're down at the bag drop and you're waiting for the next guest to arrive, it says right on the tee sheet if this guest is one of these individuals. So if they're just a guest, it says guest 18, but if they are a buddy black or a buddy blue, it will say that on the tee sheet. And we like to recognize our top customers and treat them with extra special care.
Any questions for me? All right, we're almost there. We got one more, and then we'll take a break.
Mine's not long, so I won't go too long. All right, I'm Anna. I'm the events coordinator here. Also work in the food and beverage department, so you'll kind of see me in here a lot, out on the course, in the golf shop, usually always running around. So just a quick overview of what is considered an event here for us. It's 12 or more guests. All events are required to golf here. So we do not do weddings, rehearsal dinners, baby showers, just meetings, just to come out and use one of our boardrooms. We do not allow that. You have to golf on property to have an event out here. We average about 200 events a season. So last year I think we were at 220. And then our average group size here is between 20 to 30 people. So we do have about a handful of groups that do course buyouts, lodging buyouts, but on average it's between that 20 to 32, which is a good number for us. We do not have a large banquet hall here, so we cannot accommodate large groups for meeting spaces. So policies and cancellations, somewhat similar to our regular guests that Kelly just went over, with a few changes. So this year we changed up our golf policy and cancellations, so they have 30 days. So from the time that their event is, if they were to cancel within those 30 days, they would owe us a full green fee of $295. Something else new this year is we do take a good faith deposit of $500 for all groups. So at the time that they call and book, we take $500 from them right away to reserve that, or to reserve those tee times. So what happens is once it's booked, I work on the contract to get that sent out to them. So the day that I send out that contract, they have 45 days to pay us. So golf is $295 per player. And then we also have a $100 event service fee for all groups of 16 or more. Same with lodging as well. We take that good faith deposit of $500. Amount for lodging is due 45 days after I send the contract out. So lodging cancellation is 45 days, same as our regular guest here. So if they were to cancel inside that 45 days, they would get charged their full lodging amount that we have. So a couple different locations that we do events here that you'll see. We have the Erin room, which is located down in the pub, a back room. So a lot of times we do meetings in there. It's our largest space that we have that we can accommodate a meeting. So we can accommodate up to 24 people in there. We have the Galway room, which is right above us, very popular as well for meetings. Can accommodate up to 16 guests. Dublin room, which is also located in this building, is our smallest private room that we have. Can hold up to 10 guests. So we do a lot of smaller dinners up there for our guests. Obviously, you'll see a lot of events right in this building and also on the patio. We do a lot of putting contests here that you'll see. So Jim's team works on that. We set that up for guests, definitely on the corporate side to give them something to do before dinner. And then also we do short game area, which again Jim spoke about, but we do clinics. Rich does some clinics for us as well for some of our corporate groups that we have on property as well. So the biggest thing to look at and to understand is this sheet right here. This is our BEO, so banquet event order. It's going to state everything that you need to know about every single group that's on property here. So each day you'll see this. This will be on Google Docs, so you can always look at it. Also, we'll print these out the day before, and they will be stapled on every single T-sheet on property. So you can tell it's kind of separated into golf shop, outside services, starter, ranger, caddies, food and beverage, inside, outside. On the top, and I know it's a little bit hard to see with the size, but on the top you'll see the group name, their overnight guests. If it's a group company, you'll see the company name on there, and all the details that you need to know. So how they're paying, if it's master account, if it's not, what time they're arriving, if they're doing any putting contests, any food and beverage, special needs for that, if they're having a buffet. They'll show you the location. So these are extremely, extremely important to look at every single day. So it should be probably one of your first things that you do when you get on property here is to either grab a T-sheet or look at the Google Docs and look at this sheet here to know what's going on for the day. So all your information that you will need to know will be on this sheet. Obviously, I'm always around to answer any questions. But I promise you, if you look at that first, your question will be answered. So, any questions? Mm-hmm.
How often does lodging sell out?
We do a good handful of them, a few every month. So those are really for your big corporate companies that we have on property. But I have been seeing more and more every year. With the amount of people that they're looking to bring, we really only use 35 beds. So we have 37 beds on property. We usually use those 35. It's corporate, they don't want to share bedroom, bathrooms. So when we have a lodging buyout, it's about 35 people. We do sometimes course buyouts. Don't really have any of those yet this year. We do actually try to kind of stay away from that a little bit, as it is difficult to do that with lodging on property for them to buy out lodging for both nights as well. So about 90% of the groups that I do work with are corporate groups. So we have a lot of corporate on property here. Any other questions?